Hey, I'm Kyle, and this is the Vervet Forest, Season 2, episode number 24. On today's episode, we've got Gabe meeting the James Troop foster moms face-to-face in the intro enclosure. Django gets his cast off, and so he and Red head back over to Disneyland, where they hang out with Belle, and Django gets a little bit of physical therapy. And then Django and Red also get to meet the foster moms in the intro enclosure of Sickbay Troop, and Leo and Freya finally head out into the troop of Engeltjie. The troop of Engeltjie. They head out into Engeltjie Troop. I'd also love to give a shout out to my awesome top tier patrons, Mac, Marcia Merlot, Shannon Martinez, Janet Franciscovich, Stephanie from Australia, Chuck and Di, and Jim and Linda. Thank you all very much for your support, and thank you to all the patrons and anyone who donates and watches the advertisements on this channel and helps me to earn money and helps the Vervet Monkey Foundation to earn money. Thank you all very much. It was finally time for Gabe to get a foster mom, and the morning started like any other. Gabe hung around munching on grass and just roaming looking for dry leaves and sticks that he could chew on.
Yeah, so we just do one-on-one for now.
Well, Wrench did describe her as a princess. Yes, she did.
Engeltjie was the first female to enter the enclosure, and it took Gabe a minute to realize that she was in there with him.
Yeah, but no walls in there for you to admire your face in.
He just noticed her. But as soon as he spotted her, he climbed the fence and did his best to keep his distance.
No, not so fun.
Engeltjie used the old, "I'm not paying any attention to you, I just happen to be getting closer and closer to you" maneuver, but it was not working well on Gabe. Then another adult female named Juno and a juvenile male named Neville entered the enclosure, and that's about the time that Gabe started to freak out.
It's funny if she comes in for a pee and a poo, then goes back out there. Yeah, that's nice. On the left.
Gabe pretty much spent the rest of the day trying to avoid all the other monkeys.
Things you notice, you know, like with the ears and stuff, you can add those as well.
I still have the paper key.
Because I've gone through it on the computer and just had a look at the information's correct.
Yeah.
And then you can just add anything distinguishing that you notice as well.
Django finally had his cast removed, so he and Red headed over to Disneyland every once in a while, where they would spend time with Belle while Django got some physical therapy. Red and Belle seemed pretty happy to see each other. Well, not see each other, but they were happy to be around each other. Look at how Red pushes Belle away from his food with his foot and then goes to try to play with her. Vet nurse and med staff member Sammy gave Django a little bit of physical therapy on his arm, while volunteer Yarn helped out by holding on to him.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So we're just going to do some physio for a couple minutes. Move his little fingies. When his cast first came off, he couldn't even bend any of his elbow, if you remember.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, so it's going so much better.
Nice.
But it's nice he's able to clench his hand now, too. But I think it's still quite sore, because he definitely doesn't like it. He can almost do like a full right angle now. But now we just got to get him in the feeding cage.
Yeah.
There you go, bud. Cool.
Fine.
Yeah, you can pop him down. And we'll have a look at Belle as well.
After it was all over, Red gave Django some comfort, and Django threw some shade at Sammy and Yar.
Your moral support, Red.
The first attempt to release Leo and Freya into Engeltjie troop did not go well. They just stayed inside the intro enclosure and refused to leave. The second attempt saw them go out into the troop, but they ended up staying right with each other and sticking as close to the fence as possible. Brownie's junior pointy face, yes, that's her name, no, I'm not having a stroke, came by and tried to play with Freya, but Freya was having none of it. As the sun began to set, instinct kicked in, and the two babies climbed into the trees where they spent the night. About a week later, Django had become a pro at the feeding cage, and so he and Red were finally able to meet their Sickbay troop foster family inside the intro enclosure. Before the integration even began, you could tell that both boys were very nervous.
If they're this freaked out right now,
Right, okay.
God, I hope somebody doesn't get
For
bitten.
some reason, we have the safety rope on the opening rope,
Dude.
not the closing rope.
What?
But they should be.
Why is Red, like, incapable of being away from Django right now?
Because everything is.
Can you add a safety rope onto the closing rope? The orange one.
A juvenile named Ronnie and a very experienced foster mom named Chicken were the first two to enter the enclosure, and the boys quickly lost their minds.
Red is screaming his head off. Go for you, relax. Chicken is out.
Be careful with her, she takes her time to get in this out. She plays cat game. Yeah, you don't know what to do if Ronnie's not here, right? So that's Ronnie coming, so you can let her in at the door. So Kofi is just put his hand on them. He's now grabbing Django. Both just trying to get away. Red's the only one vocalising. Nope. She wants to be in the front. and
Those
not just
eyes
stress
that
them two out.
both of them are just so tuned into everything that's happening right now.
Fucking terrifying.
But poor Django is getting the worst of it from Red because Red just won't let him go. He keeps pushing him down, like biting him and stuff. Stop, dude. Try to get away from these moms.
Come back, chicken. Hello. Look.